evening. I'm Regile sitting in for Cesc Drilon.
I'm Pauline Verzosa.
And I'm Sean Yao.
The big stories tonight. Shortly after getting implicated in the flood control fiasco, Executive Secretary Lucas Bersamin and Budget Secretary Amina Pangandaman are out of the Marcos cabinet.
And House leaders come out to defend President Bongbong Marcos and former House Speaker Martin Romualdez after Zaldico accused them of inserting 100 billion pesos in the 2025 budget and getting kickbacks from it.
And it is the second day of rallies in Manila and EDSA calling for accountability. Over in Luneta, the Iglesia ni Cristo makes it clear they are not calling for a revolution.
Well, there you have it. The big story tonight is no less than another round of cabinet shakeup. 3 of President Marcos's top officials tendered their resignations after being implicated in the flood control scandal.
Chief among them is Executive Secretary Lucas Bersamin, who will be replaced by Finance Secretary Ralph Recto. Also stepping down were Budget and Management Secretary Amina Pangandaman and Presidential Legislative Liaison Head Adrian Bersamin.
Vice President Sara Duterte says the Marcos administration now faces a crisis of confidence. Mobile journalist Julie Baiza with tonight's big story.
Let's wait for the official announcement. This was Executive Secretary Lucas Bersamin's response early today when he was asked about rumors he will be replaced by Finance Secretary Ralph Recto. In ambush interviews, Recto also flat out denied the news.
There is no offer, there's nothing to accept.
But just hours later, at just past 5 in the afternoon, Palace Press Officer Claire Castro hastily convened a press conference.
President Ferdinand R. Marcos Jr. has formally accepted the resignations of Executive Secretary Lucas P. Bersamin and Department of Budget and Management Secretary Amina Pangandaman. Both officials respectfully offered and tendered their resignations out of delicadeza after their departments were mentioned in allegations related to the flood control anomaly currently under investigation, and in recognition of the responsibility to allow the administration to address the matter appropriately.
Castro went on to announce that the president has appointed Recto as the new executive secretary. Replacing him as Secretary of Finance is Frederick Go, currently the Special Assistant to the President for Investment and Economic Affairs. Go's post will be left vacant for now. Meanwhile, Undersecretary Rolando Tolentino, who currently heads budget preparation and execution, was designated officer in charge of the DBM in place of Pangandaman.
His designation ensures uninterrupted operations as the government prepares for the rollout of next year's budget, ongoing recovery efforts in disaster-affected regions, and the continued funding of social.
Last to resign this Monday is the head of Presidential Legislative Liaison Office, Undersecretary Adrian Bersamin, who is related to E.S. Bersamin. The PLLO is the one that facilitates communication between the executive and legislative branches. There's no word yet on who will replace Undersecretary Adrian. All these officials were recently named in the flood control scandal, most notably by Zaldico. In the first part of his video series posted on social media, Ko alleged that it was Secretary Pangandaman and Undersecretary Adrian Bersamin who coordinated 100 billion pesos in insertions with him and former Speaker Martin Romualdez on behalf of President Marcos. E.S. Bersamin wasn't mentioned by Ko, but he was already name-dropped back in September by former DPWH Undersecretary Roberto Bernardo. Bernardo claimed Bersamin received 15% commitment from the inserted DPWH projects. Bersamin had denied this, saying his office had no involvement whatsoever in the budget allocation for the DPWH. Before the cabinet shakeup was announced, Vice President Sara Duterte posted a video slamming the Marcos administration again, reiterating that she had long sounded the alarm on Congress's manipulation of the budget.
The president now faces a profound crisis of confidence, especially in the way these corruption investigations are being handled, which appear to lack both direction and resolve. We also seek clear answers on how a budget that deprived Filipinos of billions and billions of pesos was approved under his watch. We Filipinos deserve better.
Kapatid Mobile Journal Julie Baiza, We Are One News.
Well, House leaders have come out to defend former Speaker, Martin Romualdez and President Marcos from Zaldico's latest allegations. Over the weekend, Ko dropped parts 2 and 3 of his video series on social media, still directly implicating the president and Congressman Romualdez. He said the total amount of kickbacks he got from the anomalous flood control projects was up to 56 billion pesos, not 21 billion as what disgraced DPWH engineer Henry Alcantara said. But Ko says he didn't pocket anything and that they all went to Marcos and Romualdez. He also claimed that the former speaker threatened to shoot him.
Ang sinasabi nilang halaga sa ICI ay 21 billion. Hindi po totoo yan. Ang totoong numero ay 56 billion pesos at yung pong halaga na yan ay kay Pangulong Bongbong Marcos at Martin Romualdez na punta lahat. Wala pong napunta sa akin. Dumaan lang po ang pera sa akin para i-deliver kay Speaker Martin Romualdez at Pangulong Marcos. March 2025 pa lang, si Speaker ay nagpaparinig na sa akin sa aming meeting that he will shoot me if I will talk. At pagkatapos niyang sabihin sa akin in a phone call na don't come home, we will take care of you, tumawag ulit si Speaker Martin at sinabihan niya ako na pag umuwi ako will be dangerous. Kasi they might hire someone to do a rob out on me or hire the police to kill me while in jail.
In response, House leaders held a press conference today to reject Ko's accusations, with Deputy Speaker Ronnie Puno adding that President Marcos still enjoys the support of the majority bloc. Puno and Deputy Speaker Christine Singson Mihan also questioned the screenshots of cash in suitcases delivered supposedly to the President and Romualdez, saying the dates do not align with Ko's own timeline. How, they say, could the two officials have received the kickbacks in early 2024 when Ko said that the order to insert 100 billion pesos was made just before the BICAM around November? Puno, who chairs the National Unity Party or NUP, also ridiculed Ko's claim that he did not benefit from the insertions.
Di saan nanggaling yung mga eroplano? Saan nanggaling yung mga helicopter? Yung mga bahay niya sa Europe at kung saan-saan, di ba? Saan galing lahat yun? Yung hotel niya, saan galing yun? Oh, dapat pakita niya kung saan. Kasi talagang, kung iisa-isahin mo yung mga sinabi niya, talagang parang hindi ka makasagot dahil napaka-imposible. Alam niyo, hindi na namin sana papansinin ito Di ba? Kasi puro malabo yung mga kwento niya Di ba? Masyado na siyang bilib sa sarili niya Sinong presidente ang kailangan makiusap sa isang committee chairman sa House?
For his part, Deputy Majority Leader Zia Lonto Adyong also rejected outright the idea that Romualdez threatened Ko.
Ako tatanungin, I think that the Speaker, having served the House of Representatives for more than 3 years, all of us can testify that he has no inch of violence in his system. In fact, wala akong kabayo-violent itong tao na to. I can say that, for someone who has been working closely. I think DS Puno can also say that. Wala pong violente sa sistema ng former speaker. That's why the entire House voted him twice as a speaker.
The other major parties in the House, including Partido Federal ng Pilipinas, Nationalist People's Coalition, Lakas CMD, all challenged Ko to return to the country, to take his oath, and to present his evidence to the Independent Commission for Infrastructure, or ICI, so his word isn't taken for hearsay. Other leaders present at the press conference today include House Deputy Speaker Ferdinand Hernandez and Nationalista Party's Maximo Dalog Jr. Asked whether they think someone was behind Ko and pushing him to implicate the president, Adyong and Puno had this to say.
So definitely, somebody has to benefit from all of this. From all of this revelation that he has. Sino ba talaga magbe-benefit ito? Definitely not the president, but because the president is the one being accused of by Saldico.
Siguro yung kalaban ni Presidente, di ba? Kasi kaya nila in-atake para mag-benefit sila. Sino yun? Hindi natin alam. Di ba?
Now, meanwhile, the Justice Department says there is still no evidence linking any proponents to the flood control scandal, at least for now. DOJ Prosecutor General Richard Fadulion told our sister show Storycon the probe isn't limited to DPWH personnel and that new information, including allegations from former Congressman Zaldico, could still widen the investigation. The first 5 cases under preliminary review involve only DPWH officials from Bulacan's 1st District. Now, as far as Zaldico is concerned, Fadulyon repeated that they currently have no basis to arrest him but file a notarized affidavit from abroad through the consulate.
Sa ngayon, wala pa po talagang ebidensya kami na hawak, no, na maglilink doon sa mga proponent from the DPWH officials. We also have to also consider na if you look at the whole story, meron ho talagang involvement yan from down, which is DPWH, from the bidding, all the way up to the proponent. Sa pagkakaalala ko, dun sa mga napanood kong video na pinadala ni former congressman ko, may mga binabanggit po siya ng mga opisyalis ng pamahalaan. And considering that these are salary grade 27 and above, this would have to be forwarded, whatever his statement is, to the Office of the Ombudsman for purposes of validation.
Posible ba siyang hulihin o i-detain ng ating consulate or embassy?
Sa ngayon po, wala pong basihan para hulihin siya. Kasi remember, sir, there is no case which is filed against him yet. So it will not be considered a fugitive such that if he goes to the embassy, the Philippine laws can be extended and implemented.
Meanwhile, on the case of Senator Bato de la Rosa, Fadulyon said the DOJ has not received any arrest warrants from the ICC. He also stressed the government cannot act without an official document, and any move will depend on the Supreme Court, which is still hearing petitions related to the case.
If there is anything definite already insofar as the warrant of arrest, wala pa po. Up to now, we have not seen a copy. What if, in the event we do receive it, what action will the department take? Well, there are views that we should do the same thing that was done with the arrest of the former president. But syempre, again, if you ask me, the circumstances then are different from the circumstances now. That there are really two options which are available. One is extradition, the other one is surrender. So to constrict government by saying that extradition is the only track, I think is premature up until then or up until when the Supreme Court decides on the petition which is pending before it.
But isn't it also true that extradition can't be an option kasi the ICC is not a sovereign nation. Extradition can only exist between two sovereign states that have treaties, and the ICC is not a country.
Precisely the point why we find it difficult to accept that extradition would be the mode, considering that yes, ICC is an international criminal court. It's a judicial body. It's not a state with which the Philippines has an extradition treaty.
Okay, let's now try to break down some of these big breaking news. We've got attorney Jesus Jess Falsis, a public interest lawyer and political blogger. Hi, attorney. Good evening.
Good evening, ladies. Good evening, Regina, Pauline, and Sean. Good evening to everyone listening.
Okay, so the first thing I want to talk to you about is the big news of the day, which is, of course, the cabinet shakeup. And now I stalked your ex, and so I already know that you're pretty happy that E.S. Bersamin is out because, for one thing, you said that he was the one who granted the late Juan Ponce Enrile reprieve on humanitarian grounds, which does not exist in the law. But let me zero in on his performance as executive secretary. Did you think he did well?
Well, he did well in terms of protecting the president, in terms of implementing what the president wanted, no, for good or for bad. Of course, I don't know everything, no, na ginagawa ng isang executive secretary, but the public things that he has done, he is the one who has to push for the president's agenda, and that's why he was appointed as executive secretary, because he gets things done, and he was perceived as a loyalist na pro-Marcos siya. Talagang he will do what it takes to implement whatever the president wants, for good or for bad.
Hindi naman kaya totoo itong mga ugong-ugong on social media, Jess, na baka ilipat lang si E.S. Bersamin sa ibang post. I saw some whispers, some posts na baka siya yung pumalit kay JPE.
Well, I hope not, no? Because that would be like Duterte. Si Duterte kasi, pag merong nasisante or may nag-resign, nare-recycle somewhere else. So if BBM wants to be different from his predecessor, he should not be recycling officials especially if the basis for the resignation of the officials who resigned today, like Executive Secretary Bersamin, is because of delicadeza na they were implicated in a corruption scandal. Why would they be recycled in a different position when that accusation or implication in a scandal is still there?
Well, to be fair, he has sort of, kind of, if to borrow your term, recycled, right? A few secretaries here and there.
Well, why would you recycle more? Doon tayo sa pangit na nga mag-recycle to begin with nung mga lumang Duterte appointees. Kasi unit team sila eh. So that's why he got some appointees from the past administration or retained them. Of course, madami din siyang hinarang. Si PBBM not si E.S. Bersamin. That's why madaming mga pro-Duterte na anti-Marcos talaga ngayon because they were not, hindi sila pinagbigyan. Let's be frank about it. Madami sa mga maingay ngayon ay hindi lang napagbigyan ni PBBM. May mga onting na recycle, so he should not recycle more, especially doon sa sarili niyang administration. No? So si E.S. Bersamin kasi, we can see that he was a justice before. He was not really an appointee of Duterte in a strict sense kasi independent dapat ang justice. So E.S. Bersamin is a Marcos appointee in a strict sense because political appointment yung pagiging executive secretary. So PBBM should not recycle his own appointees if the basis for the removal or resignation or the graceful exit is still there.
Attorney Jess, I wanted to ask about the timing of the resignation of E.S. Bersamin and Secretary Pangandaman. What do you think really triggered it? Was it the expose of former Congressman Zaldico? And ano yung magiging implication yan sa public perception?
Well, it's all interconnected, no? Yung revelations, quote-unquote, na minsan paputok, minsan parang ano lang, watusi lang yung paputok ni Zaldico. Related yan syempre dito sa allegedly malakihang rally kahapon hanggang bukas, no? But so far it's not reaching the critical mass or the numbers that it announced or it claimed to reach, no? Like 1 million or more. So connected yan kasi syempre yung resignation nitong mga ito because they were implicated leading up to maybe some groups lobbying or trying to get appeasement or be appeased by PBBM na okay, we will tone down our rallies or our demands if you give us some heads. Now, some of this lobbying are transparent or some of this lobbying are valid. Hindi naman lahat ng lobbying masama, no? So, for example, the CBCP and the progressives, we're lobbying for transparency. We're lobbying for accountability na ma-prosecute talaga yung mga dapat ma-prosecute. Pero may iba ding groups who are lobbying more than that, meaning they're asking for heads to roll just because they want certain heads to roll and maybe ma-replace ng ibang appointees.
You're right. Every time there's a crisis, people want heads on a platter. There's subsequently cabinet shakeup. But I wanted to ask, are you happy with the choice of Ralph Recto as replacement?
Well, I'm happy in terms of the president having someone he can trust who can also implement what he wants. Ang concern ko lang is Sec Ralph Recto is known to be a taxman. So, as an executive secretary, more than being a DOF secretary, he will be able to coordinate with all the secretaries of the government now to push, if ever, for more taxes or lobby against certain tax amnesties or yung mga valid na reform na gusto ng iba na maybe let's say 10% VAT, ibaba from 12%, yung VAT sa kuryente or sa Meralco, alisin or certain tax amnesties. I don't really think that's possible. It was already less possible nung DOF Secretary si Ralph Recto, but now it will be impossible kasi executive secretary siya. So under niya ang NEDA, under niya lahat. Hindi lang ang DOF. So on that side, I think that's concerning for me as a citizen who seems to be overtaxed like everyone else, no? Yung taxes kasi natin para hindi pala napupunta sa tama pero naglalagay sila ng bagong taxes. Baka magkaroon bang ng bagong taxes dahil kay Ralph Recto?
Hindi nga mas okay yun na wala na siya sa DOF. I mean, as a ES, he's the little president, right? So his plate is going to be very full. Maybe he won't have time to think of taxes. I don't know. Taxes
is always on Ralph Recto's mind. So, yung bagong DOF secretary, ano yan, under yan kay ES kasi nga little president. So kung gusto niya ng bagong taxes, kukulit-kulitin lang niya, or yung mga senators or congressman naman, pwede naman na niyang kausapin kasi usually there will be liaison meetings, legislative coordination with Congress, between Malacanang and Congress. Sino representative ni PBBM if he doesn't personally appear? It would be the taxman, former Senator Ralph Recto.
Okay, I have to ask you this, no? Sec Mina, pangandaman of the DBM, also stepped down. Ang dami na nagtatry mag-associate sa kanya kay Yusek Trigev Olivar. You also tweeted about this. Mahal ka rin ng algorithm ko sa X, so laging kong nakikita yung mga tweet mo. Apart from the fact that they used to be together, staffers under former Senator Ed Angara, ano ba ang kaugnayan nitong dalawa? And because there seems to be a tweet where, you know, you propose that question, diba? Na may, what is it?
Well, kayo na po nagsabi, no? Yun yung unang sagot doon. They were former staffers, no? Of course, they were in a close working relationship, so they know each other well. That's not to imply anything bad. It's just to see that access and connections talaga in government are usually bad, no? Of course, sometimes it's good. You can't help Filipinos, that's culture, to have connections, to have someone you can ask for help. But if you have a previous working relationship or a history of working together and you have each other's number, no, not everybody will have your cell phone number. Eh. If you have the cell phone number of someone else and they're just a text away, that might be one of the reasons why Yusek Olivar will be implicated, because it will be up to Yusek Roberto Bernardo to prove that Yusek Olivar has close or strong access to DBM-SEC, because nasa testimony na yun ni Yusek Bernardo eh. Kaso syempre mayroon pa siguro siyang ibang detalye or evidence to bolster that, but he already said na yung mga unprogrammed appropriations, approve yan ng DBM-SEC. Walang lumalabas sa unprogrammed appropriations na hindi dumadaan sa DBM secretary. So you must be strong. Kailangan malakas ka sa DBM-SEC, or you have a good working relationship with the DBM-SEC for those kind of appeals or lobbies to be approved.
That was my point earlier, that DBM is not just a administrative agency.
Just quickly, Attorney Jess, tonight we have Senator Amy Marcos going up on stage in INC's rally, accusing her brother or claiming that he uses drugs. What do you make of that?
Wala na. Ano na yan? Desperada na yan si Senator Amy Marcos. There's so many things that we can say, but quickly, no? One, it's against Filipino family culture. Kahit sinong Pilipino, most I would say majority, would not support a sister bashing or siya pa yung mismong naninira sa kanyang kapatid. Wala tayong nakitang ganon. It's unprecedented and most Filipinos will not support that. Of course, legitimate issue ang drug use ng presidente if ever totoo. But doon muna ako sa socio-political or socio-cultural aspect. I don't think that's going to be politically appealing to Filipinos who will hear na, at saka ano na yan eh, kaya nga number 12 lang na senador, si Amy Marcos, muntik na siyang matalo. Because many Filipinos have seen na parang hindi maganda itong tao na to kasi naninira siya sa sarili niyang pamilya. It's a normal expectation that you would defend your own family. Hindi natin yan ifo-fault sa kahit kanino kasi pamilya yan eh. So it's very weird and different na ginagawa yan ni Amy Marcos. But two, if yan na yung smoking gun or yan na yung gusto nilang pampalaki ng rally, ng mobilization, wala na. Ano na eh, tapos na ang boxing kahapon pa lang. Kasi INC did not produce 1 million warm bodies. INC rejected DDS rallies or those rallies na calling for the explicit ouster or resignation of Bongbong Marcos. So today, until tomorrow, the DDS bloc, including Amy Marcos, weirdly, kasi Marcos siya, no? But alam natin DDS bloc siya sa Senate, they're still trying to get that critical mass. And the drugs issue will not get it. As a political analyst na to, independent views ko na to, no? Hindi na yan mag-work eh. Kasi lumabas na yan. Nilabas na yan ni Pangulong Duterte noon. Nilabas na yan ni Sara Duterte noon. Nagkaroon na ng issue kay First Lady. They've tried to come up with yung cocaine snorting video, which is allegedly AI. It never created that critical mass. Ang last ko na lang masasabi dito, baka matatapos na tayo, no? It reeks of hypocrisy. Sasabihin mo, alam mo na nagda-drugs yung kapatid mo, and yet you campaigned for your brother in 2022. Bakit hindi mo sinusugan si President Duterte na sinabi niya noon na nagda-drugs si BBM?
Attorney, I clearly you have a lot to say about Senator Amy Marcos, so we'll pick it up another time, but we've run out of time today. But thank you so much for talking to us tonight.
Thank
That
you
was
so much,
Attorney
ladies.
Jesus Falsis, political commentator and public interest lawyer.
It's time. We're going to take a very quick break, but still to come, we'll bring you the latest from the ongoing rallies. Again, at Luneta, Senator Amy Marcos had a bombshell. She claimed that her brother and sister-in-law are illegal drug users. The details when we return. Keep it here.
the big story, and it's day 2 of the Iglesia ni Cristo priest rally at the Quirino Grandstand, which saw its members from the provinces join the event this time.
Leaders of the church are pressing the government for a proper and transparent investigation into the multi-billion peso flood control scandal.
But the biggest story coming out of that rally, Senator Amy Marcos saying her brother, the president, and his first lady, Liza Araneta, are both longtime illegal drug users. Mobile journalist Francis Rivera reports to us live from Quirino Grandstand tonight. Francis, naku, mukhang pasabog talaga ito. But first, let's hear that soundbite from Senator Amy Marcos before you go ahead with that report. Let's listen to this.
Patid ko na nagdadrag siya. Nalaman ko at ng pamilya. Nalaman ng pamilya. Seryoso ito. Minsan, kami ng Presidential Guard at Metro Gompa ang naglilinis tuwing nagpa-party po sila. Kinumbinsi ko pa si Bongbong, pakasalan mo na si Lisa. Naisip ko noon, kapag nag-asawa siya, malalagay na sa tahimik at magkakaroon ng direksyon. Ang laki ng pagkakamali ko. Mas lumala ang kanyang pagkalulong sa droga.
All right, well, there you go, Francis. Can you tell us more about what Senator Amy Marcos said in the context of that whole statement?
Regina, Sean, and Pauline, ay talagang nagpasabog itong si Senator Amy Marcos dito nga sa mga speech, no, sa binigay niyang talumpati dito sa 3 araw na kilos protesta ng religious group na Iglesia ni Cristo. Kabilang din dun sa mga kanyang sinabi, no, ay bukod nga raw dito kay PBBM, ay kasama rin daw, ay nadadamay din daw at gumagamit din daw itong anak nito na si Sandro Marcos. No, iyan din ay inaalok daw nitong si Sandro Marcos sa kanyang mga pinsan at dun sa anak mismo ni Amy Marcos. Kaya ayaw niya na daw ipagpatuloy ito, lalo na gustong-gusto daw ni Senator Amy Marcos na linisin ang pangalan ng kanyang pamilya. Kaya naman sa pagbibigay niya ng impormasyon na ito sa publiko, ay hiling na to kaya PBBM na sana daw pakinggan siya at umuwi na at talagang magpa-check up para sa kalusugan nitong si PBBM, no. Sabi ni Senator Amy Marcos hindi naman niya ito sinabi bilang paninira sa gobyerno o paninira para sa kanyang kapatid, kundi concern lamang daw siya bilang isang ate at nakakatandang kapatid nitong si PBBM.
But tama ka, Francis. I know those are really serious allegations and shouldn't be taken lightly. But aside from Senator Amy Marcos, sino pa ba ang umakyat sa entablado dyan sa INC rally? I heard umakyat din si Attorney Guanzon, pati si former Ilocos Sur Governor Chavit Singson. Ano-ano yung mga sinabi nila at sino pa yung ibang notable personalities who took to the stage tonight?
Yes, Pauline, bago magsalita si Senator Amy Marcos, pinakilala siya ni Senator Rodante Marcoleta na nagbigay din ng talumpati kagabi, no, at ilan nga doon sa nabanggit ni balikan lang natin si Attorney Rowena Guanzon, no, na gusto niya mapanagot talaga itong mga nasasangkot, no, dito sa korupsyon, no, lalo na dito sa Manumalyang Flood Control Project. So marami daw siyang hinaing na gustong sabihin sa publiko, no, at talagang nagtitimpi lamang siya, kaya nakakita siya ng way para sa kanya, no, to express yung kanyang pagdismaya sa nangyayaring korupsyon sa ating gobyerno. Ganon din, no, si Chavit Singson, no, kung saan niya may mga pasaring din at talagang may mga pinapatamaan siya na hindi na lang niya pinapangalanan, pero may mga chant o mga sigaw itong crowd, no. Kaya naman ang tugon doon ni Chavit, alam niyo naman pala, so hindi niya na daw kailangang pangalanan pa.
Francis, meron na bang updated estimate kung ilang miyembro ng INC ang dumalo dyan sa rally at bukas sa ikatlo at huling araw ng kanilang rally dyan sa Luneta? Ano pa bang maaasahan natin?
So, Pauline, sa tala nga, no, wala pa tayo nakukuhang estimated na tala, no, pero compare kahapon, talagang mas marami itong mga miyembro ng INC, no, kasi kung mapapansin niyo sa aking likuran, itong harapan ng Rizal Monument, talagang punong-puno ito kanina ng mga nakaputing miyembro ng INC at talagang hanggang doon yon sa may Burgos at dito yan, palibot yan hanggang doon sa may Calao, no. Ganon din sa harapan, no, ng itong pinatatayuan natin kung saan ito yung ground ng Quirino Grandstand, talagang punong-puno ng mga nakaputing miyembro ng INC. At ngayon papansin natin medyo uuwian na yung iba, pero yung mga iba naman talagang naglagay na sila ng mga tent, no, at naglagay sila ng mga banig, papag para paghigaan at pagpahingahan nila. At Sean, Pauline, and Regina, no, yung pangunahing kasing panawagan nila ay transparency, democracy, at justice. Dito raw talaga sumisentro yung kanilang 3-day na kilos protesta. Pero paglilinaw nila, no, kanina ito rin talaga yung ginigiit nila na hindi raw nila nais pabagsakin ng gobyerno, ngunit nais nila palakasin, no, sa pamamagitan ng accountability lalo na sa mga sangkot sa nangyayaring korupsyon. Hindi raw sila sang-ayon sa kudita at snap election, pero ayaw nila ng mga kurakot at nais nila hustisya lalo na sa mga nangyayaring flood control anomaly. Nagbigay din ng mga talumpati bukod kila Attorney Guanzon, kaya Xavier Singson at kay Senator Amy Marcos yung ilang mga ministro ng iglesia. So patapos nga itong talumpati ni Senator Amy Marcos, talagang nag-close na rin itong programa na isinagawa nila ngayong araw. Pasado 4:00 ng formal nilang simula ng programa. Nagsimula yan sa isang panalangin na may hangad na mapanagot at makulong ang mga korap. Sa paglilibot-libot natin dito, no, karamihan sa mga
situation, Francis, we'll get more updates from you. But for now, thank you very much. I was mobile journalist Francis Rivera reporting to us live from the Quirino Grandstand in Manila.
Over at EDSA, the United People's Initiative was also allowed to hold its rally at the People Power Monument for a second day by the Quezon City LGU. We now have mobile journalist Denise Valdesancho joining us from there. Denise, kamusta naman ang day 2 of this UPI protest?
The second day of the United People's Initiative rally at the EDSA Shrine saw several figures of the event. Among them is Representative Kiko Barzaga, Retired General Virgilio Garcia, and Romeo Polkis, and former Congressman Mike Defensor. In his speech, Defensor urged recently resigned Executive Secretary Lucas Bersamin and BBM Secretary Amina Pangandaman to speak up. Here's what he said.
Pangandaman, ang apila ko sa kanilang dalawa, magsalita na rin kayo bago kayong asuhan at ituro ng administrasyong to. Alam nila ang galawan ng pondo. Alam nila ang nangyayari. Maawa naman kayo sa sambayan ng Pilipino.
Meanwhile, Cavite Congressman Kiko Barzaga, who also took the stage this evening, openly criticized the president. Here's what he said.
Nababuhin ang ginawa ng pamilya niyang legacy, ng ama niya, Marcos legacy, kaya sinayang niya lang. Yung Duterte family, binigyan siya ng pagkakataon, sinuportahan siya, binigyan siya ng tiwala, at pinakulong lang niya ang dating presidente na ginawa siyang president. He imprisoned the man who trusted him and the man who gave him the faith in leading the country. So dati ang sigaw natin, BBM, ngayon ang sigaw natin.
Authorities announced early today that any material containing any seditious or prohibited remarks would be confiscated for violating the conditions of the permit. Interior Secretary John Remulla also said that they would investigate statements made at the rally yesterday urging the ouster of President Marcos. Several speakers called on Marcos to resign or for the armed forces of the Philippines to withdraw support from the commander-in-chief. Remulla's statement, however, drew criticism from those at the rally. One of them is Partido Democratico Filipino official attorney Jimmy Bondo. Here's what he said.
Ang daming sumisigaw ng Sara resign na. Nahuli ba yan ng inciting to sedition? Oh. Kaya nga naghahanap tayo ng patas na gobyerno.
The Quezon City LGU only gave their rallyists here at the People Power Monument until 10 p.m. to end their protest action. It is not clear yet if the organizers will again seek a permit to continue the rally for a third day tomorrow. For motorists, meanwhile, White Plains Avenue remains to be completely closed to vehicle traffic. Ladies.
Okay, thank you so much for that update. Mobile journalist Denise Valdesantro reporting live from the People Power Monument.
Meantime, the Interior Department has raised alarm over what it calls attempts to destabilize the government as protests continue. For DILG Secretary John Remulla, even the chant "Marcos resign" can be classified as an attempt to topple the government. With this, he said the agency will investigate groups raising resignation calls during these rallies. But Cavite Representative Kiko Barsaga, who joined the rally at the People Power Monument, as we just saw, disagrees. He calls the DILG's interpretation overreaching.
Let's try to dive into that a little bit more. Joining us tonight, we are joined by former AFP Chief and National Security Advisor, General Hermogenes Esperon. Good evening, sir. Welcome to The Big Story. General, I think we might have lost the signal for a spot there.
He is at the UPI rally, and the signal there is notoriously spotty.
Hindi ko alam if he's still there, but he was seen at the UPI rally yesterday. And we are talking to him tonight because we want to try to find out what he was doing there. General Esperon, can you hear me okay? Good evening, sir. Can you hear me? General? Sir, nakamute po kayo, but you're already on air. General Esperon? You are on mute, sir, but you're already on air. If you could just unmute yourself.
Okay.
Ayun, perfect. Thank you so much.
Wait. Dali lang. May naka-on na TV.
Oo. Okay.
Pare na sa interview ako.
Okay. Nasa area na po kayo, General.
Okay.
And okay, so we're talking about the rallies.
All right. Do I have a clear picture there?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes,
Thank you.
coming through loud and clear. So we're talking to you about the rallies because you were seen at the rally organized by the United People's Initiative. This is a broad coalition of groups, of course, merong youth, merong religious sectors, but also, more importantly, this is the group of the former military officials and uniformed personnel. So parang, kumbaga, parang may meaning that you were seen there. Can you tell us what role you had in that rally? In that protest?
Well, it was my honor to join the rally in EDSA yesterday. And this morning, I passed by, I was there for a short time. I am honored. I am honored. I am honored to have joined the rally for their theme was Pananagutan, Katarungan, Katapatan sa Paglilingkod. And why was I there? Hello?
Yes, go ahead.
I was there as a show of solidarity, pakikiisa sa mapayapang pagtitipon ng mga mamamayan para sa laban para sa demokrasya, para sa laban kontra sa korupsyon. Pakikiisa ko na rin yan sa mga kasama kong veterano na maaring nandoon.
Hello?
General?
General June, are you still there?
I think we lost the line again with General Esperon, but
That's what he said, right? He's there to echo the calls of his fellow retired generals.
show of solidarity for his
Pakikiisa.
former colleagues, I guess, at the with the military. But
He did also say, mapayapang pagtitipon. So, peaceful gathering.
Although he did also say that when he was asked if he is also calling for the resignation of President Bongbong Marcos, he said he's still thinking about it.
I wanted to find out, have you made up your mind?
Nabisin ko pa, sabi niya.
Because it is very meaningful that a former armed forces chief and former national security advisor joined the protest. It means something, as I'm sure General Esperon knows. Just his presence there, even if he did not speak.
It speaks volumes.
Especially at a time like this when, there are talks of destabilization plots against the government. There are talks of the certain quarters of the retired military officers group being unhappy with how the flood control investigation has been handled.
And of course, ang dami rin nating naririnig, right? Over the past couple of weeks, we've heard AFP Chief of Staff Browner giving a lot of statements, not just him, but also Defense Secretary Gibo Teodoro saying na they remain loyal to the Constitution.
Non-partisan.
Non-partisan. But some quarters would say the offenness of these statements.
So we're still trying to call General Esperon back. But he also did say that he believes the fault here of President Bongbong Marcos is really command responsibility because he is commander-in-chief. He said it's the same with the commander-in-chief. You are responsible for what your unit or your government does or fails to do.
Okay.
General Esperon, are you back? Do we have you back on the line? Well, we did again. I apologize for the technical difficulties, but we're trying very hard to get him back on the line. But Pao, you're right. I guess because being a military officer, command responsibility is paramount to them, right? Everything stops with you. The buck stops with you.
Because you
as
can
the commander-in-chief.
Right. You can wash your hands off everything, but at the end of the day, the negligence of, diba, which equates to command responsibility, I guess that's still something that can always be used against you as a leader. And of course, General Esperon was also serving in the previous administration. He kept saying, right? He was a national security advisor of former President Rodrigo Duterte. So that might actually also lend color to his appearance, as we've been discussing earlier in this rally in the People Power Monument at EDSA. It was, I did pass there earlier. There was a bit of a traffic jam, but it wasn't very, very bad. But as Denise said, White Plains still remains closed to all vehicles. I did not get to see all the way till that side of the street. And they do have a permit until 10 p.m.
Quite different from the picture we saw back in September when there was also the anti-corruption rallies. That was, I think, diba napuno yung hanggang Temple Drive.
Yes, hanggang Temple. Pero ang daming stage noon. Ngayon parang I think they've managed to really claim their own rallies, their own spots. And I think we have General Esperon back. Hello, General. Good evening. Can you hear us now? General?
Yeah.
General, can you hear me okay?
Who is Pauline Bato or who?
Si Reg Puto, General. General, it's Regina. Let me just pick up from what you said, no, bago ka tayo naputol. You said,
Regina?
yes. You said you were
Regina,
honored.
Ikaw lang or you're with Pauline?
I am with Pauline and Sean.
Good evening, General.
Pauline and
Yes.
Sean.
Okay.
Yeah,
So,
good evening.
So, General, sabi niyo po, you were honored to attend the rally, but naputol po kayo at some point. You were there to show solidarity, but I wanted to know, number one, who invited you? And number two, did you have an official role there?
I have no official role there. Nobody invited me, but from the talks with the organizers before, because I had been talking to them anyway. They are fellow retirees. So I went there. I know the schedules. I know where it is. I was not told if I would speak on stage, but I was there. I was honored to go there for this rally for pananagutan, katarungan at katapatan. Ano? And why was I there? Why did I, on my own volition, go there? Because this is my show of solidarity in this peaceful assembly of our countrymen for the fight against corruption. Ito ay pakikiisa sa mga kasama kong veterano, kung nasaan man sila. Some of them were on site. Some must be, of course, in other parts of the country, Cebu, Davao, or in other parts of the world.
General June, this is Sean. Just one quick question from me. Were you not afraid that your appearance at that rally, syempre, makukunan kayo ng video at photos, might lend color to the event? Because, of course, everybody knows you were the security advisor under former President Rodrigo Duterte.
I was aware of that, but this is an exercise of freedom of assembly and free expression. And do you know what? The Chief of Staff, to his credit, and the Philippine National Police have issued statements that they will guarantee and protect the freedom of expression, and they will even secure this peaceful assembly.
And
so, what do I have to fear?
And are you in agreement with how they pulled it off? You believe that they did stick to whatever they said, that they did safeguard the people's right to peaceful assembly and the right to free speech?
The armed forces or the Philippine National Police?
Let's do both.
They are doing their job. They are doing their job, whether it is in Luneta or in EDSA. And the organizers have kept to their promise, especially in Luneta, that it will be a peaceful assembly against corruption.
General, this is Pauline. Go ahead.
Pauline, yeah.
Yes, General, yesterday you were asked if you support the calls for President Bongbong Marcos to resign, and you responded rather na iniisip niyo pa po. Do you already have an answer,
Well,
General? Do you support the President to step down?
That is his call. He is the commander-in-chief. He is the president. In my former capacity as Chief of Staff of the Armed Forces and Commanding General of the Army, and having been in the military, I know of command responsibility as a principle. Command responsibility means, as the commander, you are responsible for what your unit, and in this case your government, does or fails to do. So it is his call. If he can no longer perform if he could not present solutions, if he is not capable of providing solutions to this huge corruption, then he should know his limits. He should know his limits. So why should I call for his resignation? Hindi ba niya kayang isipin yun?
Yeah, General, yun nga yung issue, no? Kasi yung iba sa mga conveners nitong UPI, United People's Initiative, are outright calling for President Marcos's resignation. For example, si Colonel Segundo Metran Jr. Has outright called for the armed forces to withdraw their support for the president. They say he's the most guilty in this issue, which of course goes against your very values as former armed forces chief as well, right? So again, where do you stand specifically on this issue?
Hindi ko naman siya minamalit, but I have my own view as former chief of staff, as former commanding general, as well as a government, as well as a cabinet member. Hindi basta-basta ginagawa yon. But I must tell you that if that is indeed how he thinks, then I respect that. I could even do that. But my way of saying is, if the president thinks that he is no longer capable of solving this big problem that we have now, then he has to resign. Do I have to tell him that?
And you're also, to be clear, you're also not asking General Romeo Browner and the rest of the AFP to withdraw their support.
I will not do that because he is the chief of staff. He knows his job. Because what I'm saying is the mission of the armed forces is to serve and protect the state and the people. What I am saying is it is his constitutional duty to follow the chain of command and perform his task.
Yeah.
But I said, as a matter of qualification, in case where there is now a conflict of interest between government, remember it's not the state, between this government and the people, ang advice ko lang, my advice is, we should give more weight and listen to the people.
Yun po yung advice niya kay General Browner.
People over the government.
And I know General Browner, he has said he listens and he could consider that in his previous statement.
Okay.
What is happening?
Okay. Pasensya na, sir. We have to cut short the interview because we've run out of time, but we'll try to get you another time for other shows. Thank you so much for talking to us tonight. Former AFP Chief and National Security Advisor, General Hermogenes Esperon.
Okay, and before we go tonight, our big picture, with Christmas just around the corner, one thing still isn't on schedule. That is justice. According to actor and TV host Edu Manzano, who once again is calling out the corruption probe in his latest Facebook posts. In one, he wrote, 43 days before Christmas, grabe ang bilis ng Pasko, hustisya lang talaga ang laging late. And in another, he quips, mukhang mas marami pang makukulong na shoplifter ngayong Pasko kaysa sa mga korap. Recall that since August, Manzano has been posting satirical takes on those involved in the anomalous flood control projects.
Looks like Edu Manzano is the only winner in this whole scandal.
May sagot ako sa kanya kung bakit late yung hustisya. Ang traffic eh. Grabe.
Okay, I think it's time to end the show on that.
All right, that will do it for us this Monday. Thank you so much for watching The Big Story.
We are back here tomorrow at 7:30 p.m. and we will see you then.
Kapatid, we are One News all sides all the time. Have a good night.
Well, we have more coming up. Play-by-play is up next with Andre Felix and Cheska Liton Calao. How was your weekend, guys?
Wait, did I see it right? 43 days?
43 days.
How many?
Yeah, that's right.
Wow, 43 days.
According to Edu Manzano.
Wait, I'm still broke.
Imposible
I
yun.
second the motion.
Kung broke ka, ano ako?
Broke.
Oh, broke, no, Reds?
We're all broke.
Iisip ko na lang yung mga maleta eh. Dun sa video ni Zaldi ko.
That's where all our taxes went. Allegedly.
So marami pong nangyari sa world of sports over the weekend habang busy kami nakatutok sa mga rally.
Kami na ba?
Matatahimik nyo.
Hindi, akala ko nag-usap kayo ni Cheska, kaya sabi ko, sige, hindi na ako papasok. Okay.
Cheska.
Okay, ako na, papasok na ako ha. Thank you, Reg. Thank you, Sean. Thank you, Pauline. The big story on our show. Sean was asking, we've got results from 8 NBA games on tap today, including several overtime thrillers plus updates on Gilas Pilipinas as they prepare for the first window of the FIBA World Cup Asian qualifiers happening later this month. It's just a Monday.
And we've got a recap of a full weekend of games in UAAP basketball as the race to the Final Four heats up.
Daming ganap, Lunes pa lang. I'm Andre Felix.
And I'm Cheska Liton Calao.
And